going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kendall. Hope you guys are having a great day out there. But for today, I am actually I'm doing another reaction to the Beatles. It's been quite a while. It was like one of the very first, like among the very first videos that I did. I did a reaction to their song "Come Together." If you want to go check that out. But I'm actually going to be reacting to the song "Hey Jude." Now, this was released in 1968. But I haven't actually, like, I've heard like bits and pieces of this song, but I haven't actually listened to it all the way through. So this is, I mean, basically a first time listen for me, but I just want to get right into it. The Beatles, "Hey Jude." Here we go.
Okay. 2, 3, 4.
Good old rehearsing.
Magnificent. A perfect rendition. Ladies and gentlemen, there you see the greatest tea room orchestra in the world. It's my pleasure to introduce now, in their first live appearance for goodness knows how long in front of an audience, the Beatles.
It's now on! Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid.
So right away, I had to point out, sorry, I apologize for not really saying anything, really at the start of this, or really, as they're progressing into it, because I mean, to be honest, I'm really just so, I mean, it's just, I'm so mesmerized by the sound, and I'm so mesmerized by just how, great, and how just soulful and smooth Paul McCartney's voice is. I mean, I haven't listened to a lot of like really a lot of Paul McCartney's like material. And, but I just know, like, like with him singing with the Beatles, I just know that his song, well, I mean, like the songs that I've, have heard so far is great, but I mean, I haven't listened to a lot, but I want to. And I mean, I forget, just how, I mean, not only how great of a musician the Beatles were, but how great of a voice Paul McCartney has. I'm really going to have to listen to more of his material because I really, like I said, I really haven't listened to a lot and I need to. But I actually, come to find out through research that Paul McCartney actually wrote the song basically as a comfort. It's basically a comfort song. He wrote it for John Lennon's son, Julian, that he had with his first wife. And he basically, as they wrote it, he had wrote it to him to comfort him while his parents were in the midst of separating. And and Julian, he has said in interviews that while he appreciates his sentiment for writing the song for him, sometimes it does kind of anger him, I mean, not like like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe you did that, but when he hears it, sometimes he says it kind of brings back a lot of painful memories. And I mean, and I know that John Lennon, and of course, his relationship with Yoko Ono, it was a rumor that she was the one that broke up the Beatles. Of course, I mean, we probably will never know, why the Beatles really broke up. But and originally, Paul McCartney actually wanted to call it Hey Jules, but he thought that Hey Jude would actually sound better, like kind of rhyming wise and rhythm wise. And I do have to agree with that because like Hey Jude actually definitely sounds a little bit better. But let's get right back into this.
Don't make it bad. Just that song and make it better.
I'm sure we're gonna play piano.
Remember to let it run to your skin.
My grandmother could play piano really well.
To make it better, 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 better,
Oh, now the crowd's joining in. That's so cool. Making me clap along. Also, another thing I really have to point out too is I just love how, when there was a lot of those videos that you would watch, these videos you would watch, I love when, they get the crowd involved and really, interact with, the crowd. And I really love when, I mean, even in live performances, I really love when the entertainer really just gets the crowd involved, gets the crowd going. And, and here it's just really cool to see, you know, I mean, and of course, I mean, the Beatles were, I mean, they were like, I mean, they were humongous rock stars. I mean, and I mean, you can understand why. But another thing I noticed too is you can definitely tell this is very 60s based on the outfits, based on the hair. And and I'm not gonna lie, so there are some hairstyles and some clothes that, I look at pictures and I'm like, I actually would wear something like that. Not gonna lie, not everything I've seen, but like some things I've seen, I'm like, I could probably pull that off. But and I wish I had learned, to play piano. I mean, my grandma could play the piano and could play it really well. Um, but I always think it's, I think a piano is, along with the guitar, it's just such a cool instrument to play. But let's just get back into this because I just want to see how this finishes out. Oh, that's so cool. Paul McCartney looks like he's done. All right, that I mean, you can definitely understand why that's, I mean, still a classic. Even to this day. I mean, it really resonates with you. I mean, I was sitting there, the audience was clapping along, and so was I. I mean, that's just how much I was into it. But basically it seemed like the last 5 minutes they were just going na 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 na, and towards the end it might have been me, but Paul McCartney looked like he was ready to get out of there. I mean, I mean, it would be hard to be a musician, especially a traveling musician, because you're constantly on the road. You're constantly, I mean, you're not home, and as much as I love to travel, I love to stay home when I can. But it was really interesting to learn the backstory of that song that Paul McCartney wrote it for John Lennon's oldest son. And and I mean, and I think that's cool. I mean, like for me, I could definitely understand why like Julian, like kind of had a not really a love-hate relationship with the song, but you can understand like why he like kind of had mixed bag of emotions about it. But of course, I think like when you're younger and you have a song like written about you. I'd be like telling all my friends like this song's about me, but then when I got older, I'd be like, oh my god, no. So I definitely can understand that, but I mean, listening to that song, I mean, you definitely can understand why, excuse me, I'm sorry. Uh, you can definitely understand why the Beatles, over 60 years later, are still, one of the most iconic bands of their generation, and are still icons even today, from a 2025 perspective. But what do you guys think? What's your favorite Beatles song? What other Beatles songs would you like to see me react to? Or there's some other songs by some other artists that you would like to see me react to. But if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like and share, and then that way you will get notified when I drop new videos. And if you liked what you saw here, hopefully you'll check out some of my other content that I have. But until then, stay safe and have a great day.